Today I'm going to show you things that we pack for a Rundisney trip that have been tried and tested. First up are some things that I have for race morning. So I use certain plasters for my hands and also blister plasters. I also have these white undergloves. I have some that are used, but these are sort of a spare pair. I also make sure I have some winter gloves, so if it's cold in the morning I can keep my hands warm beforehand, and also some foot warmers and hand warmers whilst we're waiting for the race to start. Next up is looking at pain relief and sort of managing during the trip. So I have heat patches that I use normally at home. I have some Advil for pain relief. This cleaning gel, if I get cuts I have to use a special type, so that's the one I carry with me. I have some Tiger Balm for some muscle relief, and then if I need to strap my hands at all, if I get pain during the trip, I've got some of this KT tape. So next up is stuff for hair. I French plait my hair the night before a race, so I need spray and a comb. And then when in the morning I kind of do a bit of a touch up with my hair and I wear these type of headbands. So with a Rundisney race, they start so early that there are rules from Disney that we have to have a backlight and a front light as well as our helmets. So these are the ones that I am currently using for this trip. And then a few other things. I've got my clister in here for if it's raining, that will help me with my grip. And then I like to wear my number on my helmet to help with identifying on photos, so I have stickers and a pen. Now on to fueling. I have SIS gel and powder. So in the bottle here I've got the powder already portioned out, and then I have the gels before the race, and I make up the liquid in that bottle. And then I put the liquid into this bladder, which will be attached to the back of my chair, and then the tube feeds through the seat. To be able to attach it all to my chair, I just have some cable ties. I use some bit of gaffer tape as well. I have my safety pins for my bib as well. Now, some of the basics for my running clothes. I have 2 sports bras, 2 long thin socks, and then I have a thin pair of leggings, and then I also have a thick pair that have a fluffy lining, and I'll decide sort of on the day which ones I will wear depending on the weather, because it's ever changing for marathon weekend. And then I also have this neck buff, again depending on the weather, whether I will wear that or not. And then I have 1 pair of thick socks, so I'll layer them all up. The final thing will be this running top for when we do a test run. Next up are my costumes for the race weekend. I do have some sewing equipment because I will be amending between Orlando and California. I have a swimming costume in case I use a hot tub in between races to relax my muscles. I have this long scarf that I either have around my neck or over my legs if I get cold. And then on the opposite scale, I overheat, so a fan just in case. Here I've got my electric pump for my chair, and I have this special attachment for my carbon discs. We save up Mylar blankets from previous races and bring them along so that the time waiting around before the race we can keep warm. Now we've got my medal case that I made a few years ago. It's just nice to have something to travel with your medals to stop them from bashing into each other, protecting the paint on them because they can chip quite easily. So it's got this fluffy lining and individual pockets to help when travelling. Next up is some few things for on my chair and tyre changing. So I have this little tool here which helps if we need to change a tyre whilst we are away. I also have some fragile tape to put on the chair when repacking. Gaffer tape I use on my bib or just any last minute repairs, and some just general tape for when I'm bubble wrapping, and then gluing tape which I use under my tyres. Next up, this little case, I always keep some spare tyres, 1 for each wheel. I have some spare washers and just the tools that I need for when I'm changing attire. So this is all just things that are nice to keep together when it's in the case. I then have some spare bubble wrap that I keep inside my wheel bag just in case any gets damaged on the way out. Next up, I have this case for my helmet. This comes with me on the plane in my hand luggage. It's nice to have to protect the helmet, but also I do store my cap in here just to save space and then have my helmet on top. And finally, things that I use day to day with racing. I've got my sunglasses. Even though it's dark in the morning, it stops dirt from getting in my eyes, so it's handy to have. I then have this multi-tool that I will need to change my wheels when I'm there. And then I have, this is my most recent Garmin, so this is one I plan to use, but I also bring my old one just as a backup because I have had issues in the past of them not working on race mornings. I then have a runner's belt just so that I can carry my phone on me during the race and it's tucked out of the way. I just have this spare neck buff. And then I like to have a sports towel with me just in case it's raining before the race. I can dry down my wheels. And then this is the GoPro that I will be attaching to the front of my chair, and it's just on this attachment for now. And then finally, the most important thing, these are my racing gloves. I also have my undergloves that I currently use in here as well. On top of this, we bring a week's worth of clothes that we will wash mid-trip. I hope you found it useful seeing what we bring along for a Rundisney trip.